right, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. I'm just going to let people come in here. All right, we got a great group. Excited to welcome you to this NetSertive webinar, and I'm sure we'll get into lots of great stuff that will help you market your franchise brand, especially at the local level. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A. I'll also add a couple links to the chat towards the end that will be helpful for you. And yeah, if you have any questions as we go, just feel free to add them to the Q&A. But otherwise, I'll also take some questions at the end, and I'll be sending this deck out as well as the recording. So excited to dive in here into implementing a hyperlocal marketing strategy for franchises. And the goal of this webinar is really to be a specific how-to demo of how we go hyperlocal with our campaigns at NetSertive, but I think it'll apply in principle to any local marketing that you're doing. And we'll walk through a hypothetical multi-channel campaign that could be for a franchise brand just like yours. And just to introduce myself, I'm Jason Lynch. I'm the Director of Demand Generation here at NetSertive. And I'm based in Raleigh, North Carolina, but NetSertive has team members all over the country at this point. And if you're not familiar with NetSertive, what do? Well, we help franchise brands build winning digital marketing programs. And what does that mean? We take a program approach to how we think about winning digital marketing at the local level, because it takes a lot of alignment and optimization and reporting, and it's really aligning people, process, and technology in order to engage the local consumers most effectively for the areas around your franchise locations. And at NetSertive, we love franchise marketers, to say the least. I think we have a lot of industry people that are actually here on staff. Some of my colleagues own franchises. They've started franchise brands. They've been franchisors, and there's just a lot of kind of interesting relationships and overlap to where we've been able to build a lot of empathy for the day-to-day life of a marketer at a franchise home office. And we know that a lot of franchises struggle still to hit their growth goals because of ineffective digital marketing. And at NetSertive, we have a approach that combines a platform that we've built over the last 13 years. And it takes that technology, combines it with a proven go-to-market playbook at the local level, the processes, and really one-on-one relationships with your franchisees. And that results in a high ROI and really happy franchisees. So our goal is to really use the knowledge that we have, the technology that we have, to help you all reach your target market as efficiently as possible. And franchisees like that. And so I want to share something with you. I'll share the link at the end, but it's this roadmap creator. And when you want to go hyper local with a campaign, there's definitely a way to do it, and not just a campaign, but with a whole marketing program. And so this local franchise marketing audit is very exhaustive. It's going to cover vendor and program management, the digital footprint of your brand, the digital advertising, search engine optimization, data and reporting. We hope it's exhaustive, but not exhausting, that you'll actually be really excited to dig in and see a lot of these best practices all in one place. And if, of course, if you'd like to discuss that, we can set up time and walk through what you found as well. But before we dive into more of the demo aspect of this, just briefly about NetSertive, we've managed over $1 billion in ad spend. Last year, we drove 750,000 local leads. We have award-winning thought leadership and customer service. If you or someone you know in your brand would like to be a guest on our podcasts, we have 2 podcasts that are a lot of fun, and those have executive roundtables as well. So if you look at the people who have been podcast guests on our website, we have meetings with those people, and there's networking and sharing of best practices, and so a really productive time. So NetSertive, you can see some of the franchise brands we work with. We're running campaigns across search, display, social, video, connected TV. We do franchise development. We are a member of IFA. And one of the things that's unique about what we do when we go and think about Hyperlocal is that we're not just jumping in and out of your accounts on platform all the time in the way that a lot of agencies will do that. They're logging in and out. They're making one-off changes to different local accounts or a national account serving a lot of locations. We actually have a platform that uses the APIs of Google and Microsoft Advertising and YouTube and Facebook, Meta, Instagram. So we pull in all of the advertising capabilities, and we actually handle our advertising using our platform that's able to optimize the campaigns across locations. And so a lot of the changes and the optimizations, like campaigns on our platform have 300 changes a month, and they're learning across across the different locations that you have. And we'll dig into some of that as well, but I want to really we're going to talk about search engine marketing, video, paid, social, digital or display advertising, web solutions, and then that ROI attribution piece of it as well. And when you're thinking about going hyperlocal, it's really taking every bit of the campaign and figuring out how can you make this as personalized to the location as possible across every one of these channels. And most brands don't do that to the extent that it's possible, because it's frankly so much work to align campaigns to what a local franchisee wants to do in their business with all the other dynamics going on across these different platforms, and then also stand up the ad creative and the display or video creative, and then target that down to the location. It's you need a break after just talking about all the different variables. So that's why it takes technology to scale and hyper localize and hyper personalize these campaigns. And I thought an easy way of explaining this would be to think about it almost like a case study, but it's really just this is a Spark Home Services. This brand does not exist unless someone wants to start it. You can go for that. This is really a mashup of the types of clients that we frequently speak with, where they're a home repair and maintenance services company, right? Or they're franchises that have a higher cost or a higher annual customer value, right? Where digital advertising makes sense. They have a lot of locations. They're rapidly expanding, and the franchisees are wanting more control and return on their digital budgets. So we hear very often that there's a life cycle of a franchise, and when someone launches, the franchisee wants to know that their location is going to show up on the map as quickly as possible, that they're going to get traction, They're going to start making money as quickly as possible. And then as they're gaining some stability and then aiming to continue growing, maybe even buying another franchise or another brand, if you have an umbrella brand, right? Becoming a multi-unit, multi-brand franchisee, that kind of wealthy franchisee mindset. They really start to become more savvy. They're savvier. They want to know what can you do for them, and they want to drive leads and revenue at the franchise level. It's common obvious goal. But then it's really also setting the strategy, the budgets, the creative in collaboration with the franchisees to align to business priorities, because it could be that there's just different, it's not even that it could be, there are different needs across the country. Just there's different demand, and there's different weather patterns. All these different things can influence supply and demand. And so you want to be able to give as much choice that's controlled and brand compliant as possible to the franchisees. And how can you do that? How can you show ROI by channel and give franchisees options to build out their own location pages, even, right? Their own web presence to optimize organic search for certain services, so that they can get organic traffic without thinking they need to go rogue. That's something we hear a lot, is the franchise brand website is too locked down, and as a result, the franchisee thinks they need to go build their own website and try to control their own SEO. So you have all these different dynamics in play, and let's just dive into them using the Spark Home Services as an example. So the way we think about paid search engine marketing and the way our platform is built, it's to take advantage of, frankly, every advantage possible for your local franchisee. There are so many features of Google and Microsoft advertising search ads that a lot of franchise brands don't end up using, because it's just too much work to customize them all at scale. And so we want to run highly localized and responsive search ads. We want to use Google and Bing. And actually, if you use Bing and you add Bing into the mix, it'll increase your effectiveness of your spend. It actually decreases your cost per acquisition overall if you measure across both platforms. So there's a lot of high intent searchers on Bing that you can reach with Microsoft advertising, and it can actually be a really profitable channel. We do search ad copy and monthly refreshes, and we also have a pod system, and this is where you start to get into some of the specifics of how our technology is going to work to optimize your campaigns. So we have a pod system of keyword banks, right? So there's positive and negative keyword banks. And if you have a Spark Home Services Raleigh, and we start seeing that we're getting traffic for a brand called Spark light bulbs or something, right? So Spark light bulbs is coming in for some reason, then that traffic's bouncing right out because they're not looking for Spark Home Services. So we can add that Spark light bulbs to the negative keyword bank for Spark Home Services Raleigh, and then that pod, that group of keywords can be applied across the entire network of Spark Home Services locations. So that's a little microcosm of one optimization that we're doing constantly, that our platform is even doing on its own, of optimizing the most effective keywords for a paid search campaign. And so the benefit of all these little changes is that you have a groundswell of quality, and you're going to end up with, if you have higher quality traffic going to your website, if you have engaging ads that are using all of the different features of ads, they're going to a highly localized and optimized landing page, then that's going to result in increased conversions, and having those conversions be higher. It's that whole loop there is a virtuous cycle that's going to lower your cost per click because it's going to increase your quality score. So you're going to have a high converting ad, and that's going to result in a higher, ultimately a better cost per lead and a higher return on investment. So we're getting in the weeds here, but that's that's the kind of thing that I think people want to understand, is truly how does it work? How can you all become experts so that you can advocate for the best solutions for your franchisees? When we look at digital display advertising, we'll do static and animated display ads on the Google Display Network. But I think the most exciting thing about how we do display really well is the retargeting and custom audiences that we do. And I'll share a case study later about how we've actually turned display, which oftentimes people give display a bad rap as a channel. We turn display into the top performing channel for a franchise brand. And you will do the ad production and monthly creative refreshes, but the whole goal is that we have brand compliant creative, and then we're able to localize that at scale using our technology so that the ads are going to be highly localized to whatever the business that's closest to the person who's viewing the display ad, where they've either been to the website or they're in market in the geo that they would be served by. So social is paid social is a similar retargeting channel oftentimes, but you can also run campaigns that will reach your target demographic. Image, carousel, lead ads work really well. We integrate with Facebook and Instagram, and we have social ad production and also monthly creative refreshes. But I think with just the ability to drive awareness and then stay in front of your target market, that's how you start to build a lot of interest in your local franchisees. And with video advertising, that's everyone knows video is such a great way to emotionally connect with your target market. And we have YouTube skippable in-stream ads with a companion banner. And we actually have an integration with YouTube where we have a unique overlay technology. We have something similar with connected TV, but with YouTube, we can actually take your brand video and then on the fly create and upload directly with YouTube into YouTube a localized version of that video to be used in advertising. And then we also have for connected TV that same overlay motion. And it's interesting to think about connected TV and how much it has grown as a channel. And there's been so much interest in connected TV. And we actually have a product that allows us to take a single video or however many videos you'd like to run in the campaign and reach your target demographic, and then track that web and foot traffic and actually measure conversion. So if you see Spark Home Services and Spark Home Services, someone goes to the website and they do something on the website and convert, then we can tell that they were someone in their household to serve that ad, and then they came to the website. Similarly, we can measure foot traffic and store visits if it's a retail location. And from a creative efficiency perspective, it's a very cool product because you can take that one video, and rather than having to create multiple versions of the creative, we can just scale the overlays. So just imagine a CSV file with all the information and merging it into videos that get served across the country on high quality streaming inventory like Hulu and CBS. So it's not a big lift to change the creative. It's not a lift to split test. And you can also, like I was mentioning, get conversion data. And that's why so many advertisers are moving their budgets from traditional TV to connected TV. And connected TV works really well as an integrated, or as part of an integrated multi-channel campaign, because someone's going to see the ad on connected TV, go to the site, search the brand, the ad's going to pop up, and they're going to be in market. So getting down to the last few services here, and then I'll tie it all together into the how. Location landing pages, it's so important to have a location page or a landing page that is highly optimized. And now that sounds obvious, everybody knows that, right? But people spend so much time and money driving traffic to a location, and oftentimes there's just a laundry list of best practices that are not being followed. And the goal is to, but for both organic and paid campaigns, we want to drive conversions. And the best way to do that is not only to have a page that is really responsive and easy to use and well designed, but that it's highly localized. So the more someone says, hey, this is a local business in my backyard, I trust them, I see the reviews, I search for power washing and it says power washing on the homepage. They don't realize that was because there was an ad to page message match that was done, where they came in and the page was personalized just for them. So people want to see and trust local businesses, and that's the best way to do it, is just by telling a great story on a really sound digital presence of a franchise location page or landing page. And we can also easily scale pages across locations. So having the ability to spin up a new page or to make an edit, again, everything we do is at scale. So we can edit if you want to change something, right? You have a new tagline, you have a new logo, you have a new product. We can basically we don't have to go into every page to edit that. We can change every page all at once. And so with that brand compliant creative and SEO strategies, it really allows franchisees the flexibility to localize content in ways that are within what you're comfortable with as the home office marketer. And we hear this so many times, that a franchisee wants to have a personalized, or not personalized, but a specific page just for a couple of their most profitable services or products, but it's just not within the digital strategy of the franchise brand to allow that. So as a result, they say no, and then eventually the franchisee wants to run off and build their own web page. And then you get into competing web pages, and it just doesn't work. And that's happening at franchise brands across the country. And all of this is really with a view toward both highly converting digital ads and also search engine optimization, which with search engine optimization, the goal is to get your sites, technically on the back end, so that Google and Bing and search engines can see the site as you want them to see it, that it loads quickly, that it's responsive, and then that you're able to optimize the content to match the query and have all the other domain equity and all the other bells and whistles in place from a organic perspective, so that you're going to rank in result on the search engine results page, you're going to rank 1, 2, 3, right? Because it drops off dramatically. When you look at who clicks or where clicks happen on organic search engine results pages, they're really happening in the first, position 1, and then it falls off even to 2 and 3. So the goal is to, we'll do website audits, keyword research, optimizations, content creation, hyperlocal link building. If you don't know what link building is, it's building high quality links, and there's a lot of strategies that build junk links that don't really help you and can damage your brand. But it's building, if you think about a hyperlocal link building campaign, it would be reaching out to a website in Raleigh and getting 10 ways to get your house ready for summer type of a thing, and then linking to the power washing page on Spark Home Services Raleigh, right? So you're doing that hyperlocal outreach, and that's what we do for our clients when they want to run that strategy. And then obviously analytics and reporting bring it all together, and we're able to see what's performing from an SEO perspective, from a paid perspective, from a organic perspective, and then how it's performing on the web page. So we have a ROI and analytics dashboard that you can see. It's available 24/7, and you can really see the what's working well. You can listen to calls. You can see the just consolidated reporting for both the local locations and also the national view. And you can see campaign performance metrics. They're summarized by all the different ways that you can slice and dice the data. And our platform on the back end is optimizing for, to make sure that your budgets are spent the most effective way. But then this also allows you to make sure that your business strategy is in line with how money is being spent, and allows your franchisees to see that their campaigns are performing really well, and they get excited about that. So if you think about a multi-channel localized digital advertising campaign, just to kind of summarize this, you want to have these localized search ads with all the bells and whistles that are possible, so you're not leaving any value on the table there. You want to put people into retargeted social, video, and display ad campaigns, so that that they're they've been to your website, or they are in market, or they're in your target demographic, and you're able to follow them around and entertain them with your fantastic ads that get them to click, and you're telling them how you can help them. And then we'll do remarketing lists for search ads, where if someone has searched for your keywords, or they've been on your website before, then you can actually pay more for that. If someone searches for you or your products or services again, you can pay more to win that auction. So you can add a kicker on top of your bid automatically, because it's even more likely that they're going to be a good lead for you. And then finally, in-market display ads is just continuing to escalate the offers and the ads that are being served. And this is an interesting example around some of these, when you bring this all together and you feel like everything's firing, what can happen? Well, you're going to learn, right? Our platform is going to surface insights that are sometimes surprising, and you're definitely not going to find them if you're not comparing location to location. And this is a real example of a home services brand where we had started with a lot of search, a lot of budget put towards search. And then we were seeing really good performance in the display campaigns. Display was outperforming search in a few accounts. and the display cost per lead was 20% lower across the board. So we shifted budget from search to display in all accounts, and then that shift resulted in an incredible uptick in performance for this whole franchise network. So it wasn't just the one location, it was a network-wide learning. So you have that network effect that you have to, the way you successfully go hyperlocal at scale is by learning at scale as well. And when you work with NetSertive, you have very uniquely, you'll see it on our homepage at netserve.com. It's experts that you can pick up the phone and call, and that is at the franchisee level. So it's really customer service that they can feel. And we're great at building relationships with our clients and really going through a full service approach at both the network and the location level. And I think for some people in the network, they're very confident. They don't need to talk to someone often. Others really do need some handholding initially. And we're there to make sure that they understand where their money's going. And, if it's a national campaign coming out of the home office budget, then, we'll work with you step by step and help you understand the impact and communicate that impact out to your network and to our clients as well. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to send them over. A lot of these same technologies and strategies we apply to franchise development. If you think about the impact of all of this, it's running a hyperlocal campaign at scale. And I promised you this link, which is this franchise marketing audit. I'm going to put it in the chat here to everyone. So hopefully you can see that. And if you don't, then you can send me an email and we'll make sure you get that. We did get a question from an attendee. Does your dashboard roll up all locations into an enterprise level report? So yes, it does. So we can see in our dashboard, you can see it's obviously depending on who you are as a user, you can either see just one location or the locations that you own, or you can see the whole network. And that's one of the things that people really like. And if everything is configured in your network to show ROI as well, then we have very unique and extensive ROI reporting, which if you're into data and analytics, then definitely would love to walk you through that. So feel free to download that and tackle it yourself, or if you'd like us to walk you through, I'm going to put another link here. This is a link to schedule a call with our team. We can create a custom strategy. So you can schedule a call. It's the calendar of, you'll see it's Jacob Stokes. So he's someone on our team that will help you get connected to the right person for your franchise brand. And I mean, we really do aim to just build a community of people that are ultimately helping their local franchisees succeed and helping those local communities thrive. And another opportunity is to be a guest on our podcast. As I mentioned, the podcasts are a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll take a look at the multi-location marketing leader and the art of franchise marketing, and you'll see CMOs and VP of marketing and director of local marketing and presidents and CEOs of brands that and we have our podcasts and the executive roundtables as well, as I mentioned, so you can actually participate in a community of podcast guests. And so someone asked, can you work with our current website provider? or do you need to rebuild our site to integrate your tech? And no, the answer is we absolutely do not need to rebuild your website to work with you. I know some providers will say that, in order to just control everything, they say, oh, you have to rebuild the site and you have to put everything, we have to control the whole thing. I think we take a more pragmatic approach, and we're able to adapt and customize to your need. We do need access to your site, though, to obviously we collaborate with you to add conversion tags and things. Sometimes there's not so much in franchising, but sometimes in a brand situations, there are you don't always have access to add tags to Google Tag Manager, for example, so we can see how traffic is flowing through properties. But someone said, if you have multiple franchisees in a single market, how targeted can your TV ads get in a specific territory with a specific franchisee? So we run into this a lot, where you have, we'll have 8 clients in one city, right, or one metropolitan area, and they're different, and these 2 locations are owned by one person, and then everyone else is their own. And so it really depends. Most of it's done by zip code, but we find that we can mirror, usually the way you have your territories routing, we can typically mirror that. So if you have, that's always a thing in franchise marketing, to make sure that the leads are going to the right location, right? So that someone searched and they're being served the right ad. So, I'd love to connect with you on that and see if you're interested in connected TV, we have a specialist that can get in the weeds with you about how to target your people. So someone else here, Tiffany asked, can you go into more detail about message matching? Yeah, so we can match the ad to a headline on a landing page. So if you have a power washing was the example, right? And that's let's say you had an ad group and there was a link for power washing, or you had pressure washing, or you had deck refinishing. Well, those links coming in using UTM parameters they'll change the website so that it says power washing, pressure washing, or deck refinishing without having to make a different website. And so that's what is pretty powerful in being able to adapt that and obviously increase conversions. Says, do you guys work on, we've got another question here. Do you guys work on franchise development campaigns, and how much experience do you have in that space? Yes, we do work on franchise development campaigns. We actually if you look at our the art of franchise marketing, one of my coworkers on the team, her name's Maddie Park. She is the director of marketing at NetSertive now, but she's actually a multi-unit franchisee herself. And she also used to be the head of franchise development marketing at Threshold Brands, so Made Pro, and they have quite a few brands over there. So we have Maddie, we're running, Fran Dev campaigns. Would love to talk to you about that if that's something that, you're interested in. And we've done some webinars and content on franchise development as well. So would love to just let you know how we approach that, because it is interesting, right? If depending on your keywords or your, if you have keywords that are, if they're somewhat generic, or if they're very specific, right, it's gonna change what your Google budget might look like, or if just depending on so many different factors that we have on our radar, you're gonna be able to nurture those Fran Dev prospects over the long haul. So looks like if anyone else has any questions here, I really appreciated the time and the questions. And again, please do feel free to reach out. And I hope that you take a look at that local franchise audit, and you can schedule a call, even if it's just to talk about marketing. We're building a community of franchise marketers here. So happy to discuss anything and everything. So thanks so much again for your time, and I hope that you all have a great rest of your day.